Buenos días, muchachos. Espero que estén listos para otro día de tomar las clases en casa. Estoy aquí con Santiago el perro y él también está listo para otro día de e-learning. Bueno, quería explicarles un poco de lo que vamos a hacer hoy. Going to do little bit of this in English today to make sure we're good because we are going to go ahead and start the story today. To warm up, first off, there's the answers to our Port and Pada activity that was due for homework on Thursday. So if you click that link, you'll be able to check your work and make sure everything's good with Port and Pada. And then, as I mentioned to you on Tuesday, if we had e-learning today, we were going to go ahead and start the story. So we're going to read the first 15 lines today of the short story Una Carta Adios and show that we understood what we read by responding to a few questions and also by drawing a picture. So we're going to see your artistic side come out a little bit today. Here's the plan as you transition from Port and Pada over to the big part of today's lesson. First off, spend 3 or 4 minutes, do a quick review of vocabulary by clicking on 2A. That'll give you access to Quizlet just to bring all those words back one more time. As I mentioned a second ago, today we're going to read the first part of the story. The story is broken down into 5 different parts, and you'll see that the first section is called La Casa de Lencho, and it's only 15 lines. So you should have the story that Senor passed out on Tuesday. If not, I put a link to it here, so you'll be able to download it as a PDF. And what you'll see when you get to that part of the story is La Casa de Lencho. So all we're going to read today is this part here, lines 1 through 15. So once you have your story, once you're ready to go, please read and then reread lines 1 through 15 of the story, and that'll give you an idea of the introduction, and it really is going to focus on the setting of the story. Once you've gone through the story and have read those lines at least a couple of times, remember it's so important to read and reread when you're starting to develop your reading skills in a second language. So take some time to read those lines a couple of times. And then afterward, I passed out to you on Tuesday a copy of a handout that had some questions on it that goes along with the story that we're going to use as we read it. We're going to respond to questions 1 through 6. And again, if you don't have that with you, there's a digital copy linked here. We're going to respond to just this first part here, to cierto or falso. You'll notice in the directions that if you decide that the answer is false, it does ask you to correct it. So please make sure you take care of that as well. And then finally, the part that I really am looking forward to seeing on Friday is I want you to, now that you've read these first 15 lines, you've responded to a few questions, I want you to draw a picture to show what's happening in lines 1 through 15 of the story. Again, as I mentioned a second ago, what really happens at the beginning is it gives us a picture of the setting and some of the characters. So pull out a sheet of paper, get some colored pencils out, and I want you to include as much detail as you can in this picture. If your drawing is not your forte, that's fine. These don't have to be perfect. But I want you to illustrate and bring that to class on Wednesday, what's happening in those first 15 lines. We're going to present those in small groups on Wednesday and then hand those in afterward. Or on Friday, and like I said, Wednesday, we'll present them on Friday and hand those in afterward. E-learning work is due for Friday. We're going to present your dialogues on Friday since we didn't get a chance to do that today, or we won't get a chance to do it tomorrow. And then we have some diarios due as well. Have a great day of e-learning. If you have any questions, feel free to send me an email, and I will see you all very soon. Hasta luego.